it's a snowball effect, and I definitely felt it. Like I felt like I had so much time to work on my projects, to do research, to do this, to do that, to hang with friends, to go to the grocery store, put the stuff up, clean up, and still work on projects and still play with my kids. Like I felt like I got so much time back. Like my illusion of time got so much better, and I'm so grateful for that, honestly. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube. My name is Mystique. I'm a fashion designer. I make fashion, lifestyle, and wellness content. Today we're going to be doing our Wellness Wednesday video, our weekly wellness check-in. And for today's video, I decided to talk about social media in regards to like mental and wellness aspects. And the reason why I decided to choose social media is because I recently just joined back social media. I took a 9-month break, and when I did join back, I got so many DMs and messages saying that they were getting ready to take a break or wanted to take a break themselves, and that they totally get it. And we were just chatting about social media and the wellness aspect about it. So because of that, it definitely inspired me to make this video and talk about things in that regard. For anyone who's taking a break or anything like that, I definitely recommend it. I'm gonna jump in and tell you guys why. Before I jump into that part, I guess it's important for me to start why I love social media in the first place. So I love social media in May of 2022, and I joined back in February of 2023. The biggest reason why I left is because I was planning to move in July. I noticed how big of a distraction social media was for me. I would spend only 2 hours a day because I had a time limit on my phone. However, I noticed how distracted I would get. Like I would go on there to message somebody, and before I even make it to my messages, I see something on my timeline. And now I'm engaging with that post, and now I'm caught in the scrolling, forgot what I was even supposed to message, who I was even supposed to message. So that loop just keeps going. So I just noticed that I was being way too distracted from it, and I had a time crunch. Like this move was important to me. I was moving from Indiana to Texas, so it's a huge move. I moved my kids, my mom with me. It was one of the biggest things that I've done. So it was really important for me to put all of my time and effort and energy into seeing it actually happen. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I love social media. The second reason is because I felt myself being triggered a lot. I knew that could potentially mess with my emotions, my alignment, and eventually the move too if it got that deep. I don't think I would have let myself get that deep, but just the fact that I was feeling some type of way in general, I don't like that. So I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and just remove myself. Those are two reasons, just me feeling triggered and distracted from social media. And as far as trigger, it could just be anything, like comparing yourself to this or that, or seeing somebody from like way back when that you used to have beef with, and now just seeing their name or face, it like triggers some emotion, like shit like that. So for those two reasons, at that time in my life, I'm like, I do not need this. So I love social media. And granted, initially it was only supposed to be 3 months. This is not the first time I've left social media, and that's why I thought it was going to be 3 months, because that's the longest I've been away from it before. Like I took a week, 2 weeks, a month, but 3 months has definitely been the longest. So I'm like, okay, I'll be back in 3 months, guys. I'll see you then. But no. 3 months turned into 9 so fast. Like, I did not miss social media whatsoever. I really didn't. After, I think, like the first month, if that, I started noticing differences, and I really liked it. And honestly, the only reason why I did download social media again and rejoin when I did is because I am planning to relaunch my clothing brand in April, and my clothing brand is purely online, so I need an online presence. Like it is what it is. I'm not complaining about it. It is what it is. However, I can say I downloaded social media back, I want to say like February 22nd, something like that. I deleted it May 25th. Like the exact dates does not matter, but I was supposed to rejoin February 1st. Like, that's the timeline I planned out for myself. However, I prolonged it because I was telling myself, oh, just wait a little bit till you get this straightened out a little bit, get more organized than that. It was just me pushing it back. Like, I definitely could have rejoined before, but I was giving myself excuses that were like a little valid. So I'm like, okay, yeah, go ahead, push it back a little bit. You can wait a little bit. You don't have to join right now. You really don't. So I pushed it back, and honestly, the reason why I did that is because I was so anxious, so scared to join back social media. And I know it sounds like crazy or weird, like, girl, it's not that big of a deal. Like, girl, it's just a platform. Who cares? Like, but I don't know, like, just being away from it for so long, I guess it just put me in a different headspace. I'm not sure, but I just know that I felt so anxious. I didn't feel anxious the beginning of the month because I gave myself those excuses, you know what I mean? I didn't download the apps. I didn't go search on the app store, so it didn't get that far for me to get anxious. When I downloaded the apps, guys, oh my God, like, I was literally shaking, like, and I really don't understand why I was that anxious, honestly. I just know that I felt like I couldn't trust myself, honestly. Or I felt like I didn't know if I could trust myself. Keeping up all of the work that I've been building, being off of social media, all of the discipline that I've worked on, all of the self-awareness that I worked on, you know, the self-talks, all of that, will all of that just fly out of the window when I download social media again? Will I immediately become back distracted, spending, you know, I'm supposed to be washing the clothes, but I just spend 5 minutes standing there scrolling, you know what I mean? So I was scared in that regards because I didn't know if I could trust myself or not. So I was anxious downloading it back, and when I did download it back, my goodness, for all of the shy people out there, I don't want to say like I'm shy. I definitely used to be so shy when I was a kid, and I'm not a talkative person. I can talk. I know how to talk. And I know how to keep a conversation going. And those are all skills that I had to teach myself because I wanted to be a fashion designer. And I knew that, you know, I had to go out there and network, and I couldn't be so shy and reserved and this and that. So when people be like, oh, you're not quiet, this and that, I'll be like, you know, because if only they knew. But with that being said, for my people who can relate to that side of me, you know what I'm saying when I say that it felt like I was at a party when I rejoined social media, like how my heart was pounding and like I was anxious and like shaking and, you know, shit like that. It literally felt like I was at a party. Why? I have no idea. Because I didn't feel like bad, like, you know, I was excited to be like, hey y'all, you know, what's up? Like, it was nice saying hey to everybody and catching up and, you know, whatnot. But I just felt anxious, and I think it's just all those other emotions that kind of come with social media, the comparing yourself, because, you know, I'm catching up with people. I'm seeing what everybody was up to for the 9 months that I was gone. So it's the comparing yourself to people, being triggered by quotes or pics or anything. So I feel like just all of those mixes that kind of just balled up. But you know, after the first day or two, I definitely got over it. It felt regular again. It felt normal, you know, to the point that I couldn't even believe that I was so anxious to re-download it, or so scared to not trust myself to keep implementing all the practices that I've been doing the entire time. I mean, I understand, I get it, but I'm glad that, you know, I was able to stay on the path that I've been creating. So with that being said, I just want to jump in to what I learned during the break from social media. Now that I kind of explained why I left and how I felt like coming back, what I learned when I was gone was basically discipline, self-awareness. I got way more in tune, and my illusion of time got so much better. I'll start with the illusion of time, honestly, because you guys, when I say I felt like I've never had enough time to do anything ever, like I always felt like I've needed way more than 24 hours in a day. I'm like, how am I supposed to get everything? Like, I just always felt like I didn't have enough time to do anything, like probably since I graduated high school, I think. And then, you know, going to college, you really have to focus on time management. And, you know, even in high school, your junior, senior year, they start loading that work on. And if you have a job in high school, like, it's just, time management is crazy. I know in college, I think that's when it really started kicking in. Like, I really don't have enough time for anything. I would be doing my homework at a kickback, like... So, you know, I felt like I really did not have enough time to be social, to do homework, to work on my projects on the side, to do this, to do that. So I've always had that emotion towards time. But when I deleted social media, I got some of that time back. And granted, like I said, I will only spend 2 hours a day on social media. But I guess it just started adding up. Like, those 2 hours just started adding up. I guess you could look at it like this. Instead of spending 2 hours a day scrolling, and granted, it wouldn't be 2 hours like straight in that one period. It'd probably be like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 30 minutes there. You could look at it like this. I still had YouTube and Pinterest. I would use those for research purposes, educational purposes. For YouTube, you can think of it like a 10, 15 minute, 20 minute video. If you're doing a 20-minute video, that's 6 videos that you just, you know what I mean? Like 6 educational videos that you could have watched instead of like scrolling through social media. So those 6 videos every day, like, that's around 42 videos a week that you just watched, you know what I mean? So that it's a snowball effect, and I definitely felt it. Like, I felt like I had so much time to work on my projects, to do research, to do this, to do that, to hang with friends, to go to the grocery store, put the stuff up, clean up, and still work on projects and still play with my kids. Like, I felt like I got so much time back. Like, my illusion of time got so much better, and I'm so grateful for that, honestly. So another thing that I was saying, discipline. I don't think like discipline has been an issue for me, has ever been an issue for me, but it definitely I was able to focus on discipline more, and I was able to discipline myself in areas that I've been meaning to work on, as far as like my spiritual journey, doing more research daily on that, making sure that I spend more time meditating, teaching my kids those practices as well, and being true to who I want to be. Like, if I know I don't want to do something or anything like that, I make sure that I stand on it, you know, no matter, because I'm a nice person and I feel for people, I understand this and that, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, if I know for sure that I have to set that time aside for me to do what I need, you know, then I need to stand on that and make sure that that person understands, instead of like me be accommodating and things like that. So the discipline went across like the board, you know. I definitely became more disciplined all the way around in so many different areas, and I'm grateful for that as well. Another thing is definitely the self-awareness and being more in tune. Like I said, I started meditating more and putting more energy and time into my spiritual journey. I'm not sure if you guys are spiritual or believe in this and that, but when I tell you guys, I became more in tune. I wasn't expecting it to happen. Like, it wasn't really my goal. Like, I was trying to just be more aligned, feel better throughout the day, make the messages clearer, you know, things like that. But they started sending me messages through dreams, not about me, you guys, like about people in my close vicinity. So, you know, I would have the dream, and I'm like, okay. And you guys, I don't be remembering my dreams. So when I do remember my dream, I know off bat, like, it's a message, because I don't be remembering nothing, but, you know, except for like a little part, like literally a tad bit part, and that be the message. So I had like a vivid dream. I want to say like 3 of them, more than 3, but the 3 about like different people. I want to say I probably had 2 or 3 about myself as well, but definitely 3 about different people. And once I told them that, they were like, oh wow, you know, da da da. And then one of them, they told me like it had already happened. It happened in the past a while ago. One person, I told them, and they hit me up, I want to say like a month later, and was like, you know, this and that happened. Didn't you say this and that in your dream? And I was like, yeah. We were like, wow, you know, like it literally happened. One instance too, you know, I moved to Houston and this apartment complex, you guys, I'm not even gonna talk shit, but okay. So we were here for, I want to say, a month or two. Mind you, it's the summer, so the grass is growing. They did not keep up with like the lawn maintenance whatsoever, and it would irritate me so bad because I'm like, it's so easy to cut the grass. The grass is so tall, you guys. The grass, well, it's not right now, but you know, at the time it was so tall. And I would, you know, constantly chat to my mom about it because I didn't like it. So one night I had a dream, and mind you, I don't think we chatted about it earlier that day. We could have, I'm not sure, but mind you, I go to sleep, I have a dream that like I'm literally out there helping the people cut the grass. Like I'm using the little, I don't know what tool it is, but they be lining the grass by the sidewalk and stuff like that, by the concrete. I was using that, helping them, and I'm like, go over there, cut that, get that right, go over there, do that. You know, I'm instructing them, pointing them, go do this, go do that, get that right. You guys, why did I wake up out of my sleep to the noise of lawnmowers? Like that, you know, from that dream. I wake up out of my sleep to the sound of lawnmowers. I look out the window and they're all out here cutting the grass, doing this, doing that. I'm like, wow. I don't know if I summoned it. I don't know if they were sending me a message like, hey, you know, we know you've been thinking about this. This is just us letting you know it's finna happen. I don't know. I don't know why they, and for the other ones too, I don't know why. I guess they knew I was gonna tell the person, and I just be, you know, paying attention to stuff like that. So, and then also, I got into an accident, you know. I got into a couple accidents, but this one, it was like a small accident. The guy just hit my mirror, so it was really small. I was going to drop my daughter off at school, and I seen this mom and her kid walking to the school, and I'm like, oh, it's cold, let me offer them a ride. Something in my head was like, no, don't offer them a ride, because what if you get hit? Then you'll be liable. She could sue you. You know, it could really go bad from you just trying to help somebody, you know what I mean? So I'm like, ooh, you're right, let me not do that. The car that was in front of me was 555 on a plate. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I did think the right thing. And that was it. All those thoughts vanished. I started thinking about something else completely different, like whatever. I'm driving up the street. I stop at the stop sign to do a U-turn so I can park on the other side of the street, you know, because they have us park and walk the kids to the school. I'm doing the U-turn. As I'm doing the U-turn, the guy behind me decides to keep going instead of wait till I finish what I'm doing. So he's going and he hits my mirror. Mind you, I just, not even 5 minutes before, had that thought about the lady and her son. And obviously, as I'm arguing with the guy, none of that is crossing my mind. I didn't even remember me trying to offer them a ride in my head until like a day or two later, like, you know what I mean? So that's what I mean about like being more in tune and like self-aware. And then I could also like just peep my reactions or how I feel. Like I focus on how I feel like a lot. I like being happy, I like being excited, I like love and joy, and you know, those emotions are really nice. So when I don't feel those emotions, I zone in. What's going on? Why do you feel like this and this and that? Especially like even with jealousy. Not saying that I've like been a heavily jealous person or anything like that, and I've always known like when I feel jealous it's because I just want that too, not because I don't like the person or but I've always just be like, oh, I just want that too, and I'll still feel jealous. You know, from the break I was able to really tap into that and see like what's really going on there and turn that emotion around into something else. So that's what I'm really grateful for. When I feel jealous, I turn it around. Like before I would just feel jealous and just sit in it until a different thought came and I felt different or anything else. But now when I feel jealous, I'm able to turn it around. Like if I see somebody out with a nice car and they're going to like dinner or something and they're dressed really nice and this and that. I'm like, wow, you know, instead of feeling like, dang, I wish I had that car, I wish I had her heels and her purse, and I wish I was able to like eat at that restaurant whenever I wanted to. Instead of like being like that, you could just be like, wow, I know this is coming for me because it's in my vicinity. I'm seeing it so much, so often. It's so close in my grasp. Like, wow. And like even saying that now, like I felt like chills and stuff like that. And that's how I know, like that's my inner being confirming it when I feel chills and stuff like that. So it's like, wow, like that's so close to me. It's in my vicinity. That's gonna be mine's next. Like, you know, so I'm so grateful for the break because I was able to change my mindset around and do things like that. That's why I was scared to join back, because it's like, wow, I really worked so hard. I worked so hard on myself, and I don't want it to just go to waste joining back and feeling all these negative emotions from all this stuff. And when I joined back, it's like everybody is on the same page. Everybody is like, we need a break, y'all. Social media is like, it's tearing us apart. I mean, granted, social media has so many good aspects to it. However, you need a break. You need a break from everything. Being on it every day, all day, for years. You need a break. And I hope, like, me sharing my experience and what I learned and what I went through, I hope, like, it really inspires you to at least take a week break. And then let that week inspire you to take 2 weeks next time, and then, you know, keep letting that build up. I definitely recommend it for everybody. I learned a lot, I changed a lot, I grew a lot. It's much needed. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and actually staying to the end. I know I talked a lot in this video, so thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe, and come back for some new videos.